Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10.
And now the starting lineup for the home team. Yours, Fort Lee Bridgman. Number 4, Guy Vickers. Number 5, Max Greenberg. Number 10, Devin Jang. Number 13, Isaiah Valdez. And number 15, Jacob Greenberg. Assistant coach, Tanya Mushandu. Head coach, Adam Schrager. Let's play ball.
Good afternoon and welcome everybody inside East Gymnasium here at Fort Lee for our third game of this 2024 Last Chance Showcase. And it's going to feature the host team in the Fort Lee Bridgmen playing host to the visiting Cresskill Cougars. Hello everybody, I'm Dan Long, joined alongside by Dimitri Nanis and Renee Matisic. Thanks for joining us on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Cresskill 8-7 on the season, led by head coach Dan Eggergrow. Coming in here having won 3 in a row, trying to maybe punch their ticket to play in the Bergen County Jamboree Tournament. While Fort Lee 4-10 on the season, trying to bounce back after suffering back-to-back losses on the year. They're led by head coach Adam Schrager in his 6th season here at the Fort. Fort Lee, the home side, in their black and orange, while Cresskill, the road team, in their white, yellow, and black. Fort Lee will start on offense to begin today's festivities. Bridgman 3-6 here at home this season. Devin Jang, the leading scorer, high arcing shot will fall on the baseline. The senior, who averages just over 13 points per game, getting that one to drop to start off this game. 2-0 lead for Fort Lee. Last meeting between these two sides, 2017. Cresskill won here at East Gymnasium 63-42. Cougars misfire in their first shot attempt. Here's Max Greenberg outletting it over to Devin Jang. Spot up 3, left short. Doesn't draw iron. One of the rare misses from the outside for the normally deadly three-point shooter. Up down low, Marital, big man for Cresskill, being watched by Guy Vickers. Up top to Jack Hayward. Inside, turning and firing is Luke Kopczynski. Kopczynski getting the first 2 points for Cresskill. Valdez outletting it to Greenberg. Max getting it to his brother Jacob. Now back up top to Isaiah Valdez. Guy Vickers, foul line jumper, it's good. Vickers from 15 feet out knocks in his first shot attempt. 4-2 lead for the Bridgmen. Tal handing it off. First time Radovic had possession. Here is the leading scorer for Cresskill. Radovic averaging just under 16 points per game. Tal at the foul line. Up top to Radovic. Hayward. Here's Radovic now reversing it to the far side, and that is a 3-ball knocked in right in front of the Fort Lee sideline by Rocco Webster. Webster gives Cresskill their first lead of the game at 5-4. This Cresskill side averaging 56 points per game this season. Vickers got his man initially in the air. Into the corner to Jacob Greenberg. Looking for the outlet. Hands it off to Vickers. Vickers tried to save it in bounds and does. Vickers on the baseline. Maneuvering inside. Duck in, an under move. Nice move there by Guy Vickers. Cresskill was shading him like he was going to go top side. Instead, he went on baseline. Vickers with an early 4 points gives Fort Lee back the lead. Stepping into that 3 from deep was Hayward, no good. Tipped around inside, secured by Cresskill. That leads to a 3, no good there for Radovic. 6-5 lead for Fort Lee. Jacob Greenberg high, low inside to Vickers, and Guy Vickers with a ferocious start to this game for the Bridgmen. 6 early points for the Fort Lee big man. Largest lead of the game now for the Bridgmen, 8-5. 4.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Fort Lee coming in off a loss against Pascack Hills on Thursday. Vickers with a steal. Vickers trying to go coast to coast, tied up as he's going for it. And is it counted? An and one. Vickers is lobbying for it. Will they count the bucket or just say foul on the floor? And it looks like it is just going to be a foul on the floor. No bucket there for Vickers and Fort Lee. First foul of the game went against Hayward of Cresskill. Devin Jang off balance, no good. Vickers looked like he was being held up inside the lane, but no foul was called. Coming up on the midway point of the first. Fort Lee extending their full court pressure now. Leading by 3. Tall will hand it off to Webster. Webster dropping it down low on the block. Kopczynski was the one who was intended to get into. Radovich, watched by Valdez. Good defense early on here. Hayward. Tal inside, and Tal will roll it in. Omer Tal, the junior center, averages just under 10 points per game with the first 2 points of the afternoon here. Max Greenberg across the floor to Isaiah Valdez on the baseline. Valdez kicking it around the corn. Now Jacob Greenberg. Devin Jang. Scoring has been the issue all season long for the Bridgemen. They average only 44 points per game this season. Guy Vickers stretched out, jump shot, fading away, no good. One and done, no crashing of the offensive boards there for the Bridgemen. 3 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Radovich, long range 3 right in front of us, no good. Jacob Greenberg with a rebound underneath. Isaiah Valdez pushes. Valdez trying to go coast to coast, got blocked from behind by Kopczynski. Couple of subs being made by Coach Schrager. Coming into the game for the first time for Fort Lee is Christian Bruden, as well as June Best. Devin Jang and Jacob Greenberg will take a seat. Inside, it's Guy Vickers, and one inside. Vickers off to an enormous first quarter. He's got 8 of Fort Lee's first 10 points, and a chance now to 3-point play. Vickers had a season-high 24 points, 13 rebounds, and a loss on the road at Mawa. The junior starts at center in his first season here at Fort Lee. Completes the 3-point play. He's got 9 points. 9 of Fort Lee's 11. He's outscoring Cresskill himself. Cresskill down the floor quickly in the blink of an eye. Hayward's 3 was halfway down, stripped out of the hands of Tal. It'll stay here with Cresskill, but Hayward was about to run back on defense, seeing that go halfway down, but it rattled in and out. Worked around. 2.5 minutes left to go in the first. 11-7 lead for Fort Lee. They go to their zone look. Kopczynski. Leaning shot by Radovich, no good. He's still scoreless in the early portion of this game. Vickers right down the middle of the floor. Even with the contact, he's not stopped at all. 11 points for Guy Vickers here in the first quarter. Tal the other way, up and over the outstretched hands of Vickers, who distorted the shot and got the rebound. Number 4 in black and orange has been doing a little bit of everything so far here in the first quarter. Valdez pulls up from 3, no good. Best trying to fight for the loose ball, but Tal gets it in his clutches. 1:40 and counting left to go in the first quarter. Largest lead of the game for Fort Lee at 6, 13-7. Cresskill has had their troubles scoring here against the Bridgemen defense. Hayward pulls up from deep, no good. Ricochets out into the corner to Valdez. Valdez will bring it down the other way. Christian Bruden passing the Best on the baseline. Kick out, Max Greenberg for 3, no good. Carved out rebound underneath by Kopczynski. Down the other way, Cresskill with the trailer. Clean block there in front by Vickers, and last touch out of bounds off of the hands of Kopczynski. So possession will go back over to Fort Lee with 1:08 left to go in the first quarter. Fort Lee playing a solid start to this game. Again, trying to defend their home court here in this last chance showcase. Devin Jang, who got a breather a couple of moments ago, getting a chance to get back onto the hardwood. 13-7 lead for Fort Lee. Greenberg with a floater across the lane and gets it a drop. Max Greenberg, a junior guard, with his first 2 points of the game. And the Bridgemen, a solid first quarter here, producing offense as well as suffocating defense right now, 15-7, with 50 seconds left to go in the first. Now administering a little full court pressure to speed up the Cougars. Hayward getting bounced off to the near side. Ryan Fain-Zilberts into the game for the first time, number 3. That foul was against Max Greenberg, his first, and also the first team foul against Fort Lee in this first quarter. Only 40 seconds left to go. Richmond have been playing great defense without fouling. Fort Lee dropping into their 2-3 zone. Hayward with a skip pass. Webster already has 1 3 in this game. Back up top to Hayward. Now here's Webster in front of the near sideline. 20 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Cresskill holding for one final shot of the quarter. Picking away and forcing the turnover. Here goes Guy Vickers in the open floor. Vickers passing it into the corner. Long range 3 just before the buzzer there by the Bridgemen. June Best knocks down the triple right out of the assist of Guy Vickers. And that very well might be the best quarter of the season for this Fort Lee side, outscoring Cresskill 18-7 after the first 8 minutes of action. Stick around, fans, as we'll be back for the start of the second quarter. And please thank our proud sponsors of Fort Lee Bridgeman Athletics here on your screen for helping us bring you all the sights and sounds of Fort Lee Athletics. Welcome back to East Gymnasium. Dan Long, Dimitri Nanis, Renee Matisic. Thanks for joining us on our exclusive broadcast coverage of the Last Chance Showcase event here. The home host team, Fort Lee, racing out to an early 11-point advantage against Cresskill, 18-7. Defense has been swarming all game long through the first 8 minutes for Fort Lee. Towle flashing inside the lane. His shot no good. Tipped out of bounds, though. Last touch off of June Best. Senior guard who came in off the bench to knock in that 3 just before the end of the first quarter. Towle slipped inside, was left open for the briefest of moments. Was able to clean it up inside. He's got 4 points. Leading scorer for Cresskill in the early goings. 18-9. Cresskill trails. Cougars defeated Park Ridge 49-43 in their last game back on Friday. Loose ball tie-up after Devin Jang missed a shot in tight. Possession error will keep it on this side of the floor with Fort Lee. Cresskill began their season winning 5 of their first 7 games. Then they lost 5 in a row, but have now won 3 in a row. So it's been kind of a roller coaster of a season. Here's Devin Jang, sets and fires, and that's going to be a connected 3-ball. For Devin Jang, the leading 3-point shooter for this Fort Lee side. Cresskill able to break the press. Andrew Kaprowski benefits with being wide open for the easy lay-in. 21-11, Fort Lee in front. Jang will hand it off to Vickers. Operating the foul line, turnaround shot, no good. Jang tried to tip it out, but could not corral it cleanly. Goes out of bounds, last touch off of Devon. Possession goes back over to Cresskill. 10-point lead for the Bridgemen. That time it ricocheted into the under part of the backboard, and possession still stays with Cresskill. Well, Schrager asking the question that I kind of wondered myself of, if it ricochets under the under portion of the backboard, is that a violation? But deemed to just be play on. 90 seconds gone by here in the second quarter. Cresskill was held to 7 total points in the first. Across the lane, the Cougars working around the perimeter. Jack Hayward, who averages just under 12 points a game, still held scoreless. He's had a couple of opportunities that have just unlucky for him, rattled in and out. Across the lane, tied up, and is that going to be a foul against Fort Lee? It looks like it will be. So Ryan Fain-Silbert will be heading to the foul line to shoot a pair. 6:05 left to go in the second quarter, and the Bridgemen still in front by 10, 21-11. June Best picked up the foul, his first. Fain-Silbert missing on the first foul shot attempt. Averages 3.5 points per game this season for Cresskill. Second place in the NJIC Patriot Division are the Cougars, right behind Park Ridge, who they handed their first divisional loss to in their last game. And Fain-Silbert, too much English on that shot, goes 0-2 at the line. Valdez down the other way, 2 minutes into the start of the second quarter. Valdez has that one deflect out of bounds. Last touch off of Marko Radovic. Radovic, again, is the leading scorer on the season for Cresskill. He has been held scoreless. Hayward has yet to get on the board. Omer Tal, their big man, is their leading scorer with 4 points in this game. Max Greenberg up top to Isaiah Valdez. Feeding Vickers down low in the post. Vickers with a post move is kind of fading away, and Tal took full benefit. Great defense there by the junior center. Pair of junior big men going at it here today. Feed inside, Kopczynski, turnaround shot left short. Flying in, Neve Murray with the rebound. Down low to Vickers. Feeds it back up top to Jacob Greenberg. Reluctant to shoot. Vickers will take the shot instead and can the long-range jumper. Vickers' his first 2 points of the second quarter. He's already up to 13 points in this half. 23-11, Fort Lee in front of Cresskill. Around the perimeter, long-range fire, and knocking it down was Marko Radovic. First points of the game for number 30, his first triple. He's got 22 made threes on the season, and Fort Lee leads 23-14. A steal, Radovic leaving it off for Hayward. Hayward missing on the layup attempt, though. Radovic a little too unselfish. Fort Lee breaking it down the other way. Jacob Greenberg. And now a timeout's going to be taken by Coach Adam Schrager as he wants to settle things down with his team. After Cresskill squandered a great opportunity there, it looked like Radovic potentially was going to go on his own 5-0 run, but could not convert there on that layup attempt after dishing it off to his teammate Jack Hayward. I'd like to thank our proud sponsors of Fort Lee Bridgeman Athletics for our broadcasts. The law offices of Deborah L. Pico, LLC, Sedona Tap House, The Finest Construction, the law office of Mark J. Sokolich and Fort Lee SC. And I'd like to thank those proud sponsors that you see their banners all over East Gymnasium today. They were sponsors of this Last Chance Showcase event. 5 different games being played here today at East Gymnasium. The winners already today. And in our last game, Tenafly was victorious against Paramus. Indian Hills knocked off Emerson in our first game of the morning. Here's Devin Jang out of the timeout. The midway point, step back three for Jang. It's good. They're going to say a long range two. His foot was on the line. Jang with 7 points now for the Bridgemen. Pass down the other way. Tal is open, but he missed the gimme. Crashing the offensive boards. Cresskill is struggling right at the rim. But they're using their size advantage down low to crash the offensive glass. 3:40 left to go in the first half, and now the foul is going to be picked up by Jacob Greenberg. Second team foul against the Bridgemen here in the second quarter. After that foul went against Jacob Greenberg. And the foul shot was good for Omer Tal. Tal with 5 points now in this first half for the Cougars. Tal, nice shooting touch at the foul line. 2 for 2 that trip. 6 points in the game. 25-16. Pass to the near side of Valdez. Vickers finding Best, who was open for the briefest of moments. Good closeout by Hayward. Best getting it back up top to Devin Jang. Jang leaning in, getting it over to Jacob Greenberg, all by his lonesome for three. Too long on that shot. Rebounded by June Best. Offensive rebound keeping this possession alive for the Bridgemen. Under 3 minutes left to go in the first half. Vickers inside, spin move underneath. Turned the corner against Tal. Got fouled in the act of shooting, and Guy Vickers will head back to the foul line. At 14 points in the recent game against Pascack Hills, he has a chance to match and even eclipse those point totals here in the first half alone at the foul line. Vickers wastes no time once he gets the ball in his hands. He's now got 14 points. He's 2 for 2 at the foul line. Vickers, who transferred in from Bergen Catholic. First season here at Fort Lee. He's been a nice revelation for Coach Schrager and his team. One of the top 2 scorers all season long for the Bridgemen. 15 points in the first half for Guy Vickers. Tal inside. Gets the handoff and the finish. Leading scorer for Cresskill with 8. Back and forth both teams go. Cresskill finding a lot more offensive opportunities here in the second quarter compared to the first. Step back jumper for Devin Jang, no good. Rebounded by Kopczynski. Here goes Cresskill in the open floor. Pull up jumper, Radovich. 5 points for Marco Radovich. All coming here in the second quarter. He's lethal as a jump shooter. Lead is down to 7. 2 minutes left to go in the quarter. Jacob Greenberg being pressured outside. Here to Isaiah Valdez, who has yet to score in this first half. Jang getting it off to the near side to Best. Best down low on the block. Vickers trying to power his way to the hoop. Tal says no. He gets it blocked away. Here's Hayward in the open floor. Hayward, though, short on the layup attempt. Here's Guy Vickers in the open floor. Big man showing off the dribbling exploits. June Best right down the middle of the lane. Best's lay-in is no good. Finds his own miss. Fadeaway shot, no good. Rebounded instead here by Cresskill. Frantic pace in the last couple of moments. Hayward pulling it back. Transition 3. Webster shot, no good. Tipped out of bounds. Last touch off of Cresskill. As possession will be going back to Fort Lee with 1:03 left to go in the first half of play. Well, the Bridgemen will not be in a position to potentially secure a bid to the Bergen County Jamboree this season. This is an enormous game when it comes to postseason scenarios. Fort Lee sitting right now in the North 2 Group 3 PowerPoint rankings, number 19 overall. They're trying to get into that top 16 to qualify for the state playoffs. A win against Cresskill would be enormous in terms of PowerPoints. Vickers inside, gets it over to Jacob Greenberg. Fort Lee pulling it back out, 40 seconds left to go in the first half. Will the Bridgemen look to be patient and hold for one final shot before halftime? Devin Jang instead takes the shot, missing it, pulls it back out, and now will Fort Lee elect to be a little more conservative. 25 seconds in counting left to go in the second quarter. Rocco Webster defending. Isaiah Valdez, watched by Radovich. Handing it off to June Best. Here's Valdez on the baseline. Valdez goes right to the rim, initiates the contact, and is fouled with 9.8 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Nice take to the rim there by the 6'1 senior, Isaiah Valdez. Had 7 points in the last game against Pascack Hills. Has started to come alive since the new year. Valdez, a very good foul shooter, rattles in that first offering. Had 18 points recently in a game against Dumont. Could become that necessary secondary scorer for Fort Lee if he can get going. Goes 1 of 2 at the line. And a foul being administered by Devin Jang near midcourt with 4.7 seconds left to go. Fort Lee with a couple of more fouls to give potentially. First foul of the game for Devin Jang. 28-20 lead for Fort Lee. Hayward unleashes the three, and he beats the buzzer to finally get his first points of the game just before halftime. Jack Hayward from downtown, a much-needed triple for the Cougars, and Fort Lee will take a 5-point advantage with them into the halftime locker rooms. Fort Lee leads Cresskill 28-23. Stick around, fans, as we come back for all the action to begin the second half of play, as you're watching all the action here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody, inside East Gymnasium as we're moments away from the resumption of play in the start of the second half. Fort Lee on top of Cresskill by a score of 28-23. Cresskill fighting back in that second quarter after Fort Lee outscored the Cougars 18-7 after one. Cresskill outscored Fort Lee 16-10 in that second quarter. Leading scorer for the Cougars in this game is number 0, Omer Tal, who has 8 points to lead their offense. For Fort Lee, they're led by Guy Vickers, who has a game-high 15 points in that first half of play, scoring 11 of his 15 in the first quarter alone. Cresskill has knocked in 3 threes in that first half, including that 3 just to beat the buzzer by Jack Hayward. They're 2 of 4 at the foul line. Fort Lee has connected on 2 threes and is 4 of 5 at the foul line. Fort Lee in their home black and orange. Cresskill in their road white with black and gold. Cresskill 8-7 on the season. Fort Lee 4-10. As we're underway, the start of the second half of play, Dan Long alongside Dimitri Nanis and Renee Matisic. And right out of the gate, and one opportunity for Cresskill. Great play call, immediately called by Cresskill out of the start of the second half. Luke Kopczynski getting the dish, finishes through the contact, and now a chance at a three-point play. And Kopczynski completes the three-point play, and just like that, Fort Lee, that led by as many as 13 at one point in this first half, their lead is down to only 2, 28-26. Cresskill not rattled at all in that first half after it was all Fort Lee. Here's Jacob Greenberg. Bouncing up top to Devin Chang, who had 7 points in the first half. Here's Guy Vickers. Vickers getting it up to Greenberg. Now handing it off to Devin Chang. Chang sets and fires from straight away. The 3 was short. Ricocheted into the hands of Max Greenberg. Leans in for the bucket. Max Greenberg with 4 points now for Fort Lee, and it's a 4-point lead for the Bridgemen. Worked around Radovich from straight ahead. No good. Karams out into the corner to Rocco Webster. Here's Hayward now back up top to Radovich, 2 of the leading shooters on this Cresskill side. And Jack Hayward hit his last shot of the first half, and he knocks down a triple to start off the second half as well. Starting to heat up a little bit from outside, and the lead is down to 1, 30-29. Vickers, foul line jumper is good. 17 points for Vickers. Again, his season high is 24. He's on his way to maybe having his best career performance here as a Bridgeman. That time going right hard to the rim was Rocco Webster. Webster got fouled in the act of shooting, and he'll be granted 2 foul shots with 6:19 left to go in the third quarter. Cresskill struggled mightily offensively in that first quarter, being held to only 7 points total in 8 minutes of play. They've come right out of the gate here to start off the third quarter on fire. As Webster will can the first foul shot opportunity. They already have 7 points here, less than 2 minutes into the start of the third. Give them 8. Webster with 5 points in the game, back to a 1-point lead for Fort Lee. Isaiah Valdez, only 1 point in this game. They got to get him going. Nice slip to the rim by Max Greenberg. He's picking up the offense here. 4 points for Greenberg in the third quarter, 6 in the game. Radovich, 5 points in this game, all coming in the second quarter. And off is to Radovich, watched by Valdez. Great defense, and Radovich getting frustrated into a traveling violation. Tried to back down against Isaiah Valdez and shuffled his feet in the process after Valdez pulled the chair out from underneath him. 34-31 lead for Fort Lee, looking for their 5th win of the season, trying to snap a 2-game losing skid. Cresskill trying to advance their win streak to 4 in a row and get to 9-7 on the year. maybe help their cause for entry into the Bergen County Jamboree Tournament field. Valdez on the near side, marked off. Jacob Greenberg electing not to unleash the three-point try. Fort Lee running patient offense. Jacob Greenberg off to the near side. Again, giving it off to Vickers. Vickers pulls up from deep. Creskill's going to be content with those type of long jump shots as long as Vickers doesn't take Tal off the dribble and right to the rim. Here's Hayward. Hayward pick and roll inside to Tal, who finishes inside. 10 points for Omer Tal. Cresskill back to within one, 34-33. Beautiful pick and roll. The assist to Jack Hayward on that last possession. Webster extending the defense against Devin Zhang. Zhang gets it off to Vickers. Vickers getting it to Max Greenberg, pulls up from 17 and cans it. Max Greenberg has come alive here offensively in the third quarter. He's up to 8 points in the game. Now trying to extend the defense. 3-point lead for Fort Lee. Webster going coast to coast. Missed on the left-hand side. Vickers with the rebound. Pushes the pace the other way. Vickers going coast to coast himself. Missing in the first layup attempt. It's a loose ball tie-up. And possession arrow will keep it here on this side of the floor for Fort Lee. So we saw end-to-end action. Webster tried to take it coast to coast for Cresskill, but he missed on the layup. And then the other side, after securing the rebound, Vickers tried to go coast to coast, and he also missed. Devin Zhang on top. Jacob Greenberg. Greenberg misfired on that entry pass. Cresskill trying to launch a three in transition, but they did not. Radovich will instead fire and draw nothing. Tal will hustle for the loose ball rebound. Liam Peleg into the game. Here's Peleg for three. No good. Rebounded inside. Cresskill keeping this long sustained possession alive with 3.5 minutes left to go in the third. Hayward up top, Radovich off the screen, no good. Rebound inside. Cresskill is dominating the glass here in the third quarter and eventually leads to the Omer Tal putback. Kobzinski leading to extra rebounds, extra possessions, and now it's back to a 1-point lead. Fort Lee and Cresskill going back and forth here. And the Bridgemen led by as many as 13 points in this game. Greenberg misfiring that time. Hayward with the rebound, and now the Cougars with a chance to take the lead. Hayward taking his man off the dribble, trying to bank it in, no good. Another tip-back attempt inside. Kobzinski lost the handle, taken away by Max Greenberg. Out to his brother Jacob. Jacob with the Euro step, got fouled with a blocking call. And now a chance for Jacob Greenberg to head to the foul line to shoot two with 2:33 left to go in the third quarter. Decisive move to the rim there by Jacob Greenberg, the 5'11 sophomore forward. Jacob gets his first point of the game at the foul line. 37-35 lead with 2:33 left to go in the third quarter. June Best back onto the floor for the Bridgemen. Second foul shot is also good for Jacob Greenberg. 2 points in the game for the sophomore. Fort Lee back in front by 3, 38-35. Little full court pressure being administered now by the home team. Webster, Tal calling for it down low, demanding it on the near post. Haven't gotten to him just yet. And Zilbert taken right down the rim, smacked against the backboard by Vickers. Outstanding timing there on that rejection. 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter. June Best gets it down low on the block now to Vickers. Double team comes to Vickers, goes on the baseline instead. Jacob Greenberg trying to back in the defender. He gets held underneath. That'll be another foul against Cresskill, their second team foul of the third quarter, with 1:41 left to go in the third. Wayne Zilbert was the one who got called for the foul. That is his first, team second. Both teams with 2 fouls apiece. And Devin Jang curling three-point shot right off the inbounds. Jang's second triple of the game. Fort Lee stretches their lead back to 6, 41-35. Wayne Zilbert again off balance, forcing things. No good. June Best with a rebound. Great defense there by Murray on the trail. Pull-up mid-range jumper. Valdez trying to bank it in. Leads to the breakout the other way. And that's going to be an easy 2 for Jack Hayward. Fort Lee was in a rush a little bit too much in that last possession. They were up by 6, trying to transition bank shot by Isaiah Valdez, and with the leak out and no floor bounce, led to the transition layup the other way for Hayward. 41-37, Fort Lee in front. Coming up in the final 50 seconds of the third quarter. Here's an offering from 3 by Murray, no good. Tipped away to a teammate by Hayward, and then a traveling call against Rocco Webster. Right in front of the official on the baseline. Extra opportunity here for Fort Lee to operate with a 4-point lead with 45.6 seconds left to go. Jang off the screen again, firing with his fadeaway right in front of us. Another corner 3-point shot for Devin Jang. And a quick timeout taken by Coach Schrager as Devin Jang starting to heat up here. Back-to-back triples. He's got 6 points in the quarter, 13 for the game for Devin Jang, the marksman for this Fort Lee offense. And Fort Lee now at their per-game scoring average, 44 points in this game. Still with a couple of moments left here in the third quarter of play. They've stretched their lead back to 7 after Cresskill on a couple of occasions got it down to 1. Jang coming alive in this waning moments of the third quarter. A couple of 3 balls right in front of us in the lower left-hand corner. That last one was very difficult with all of his momentum taking him to the baseline. Jang squared his body and still fired it home. 41.1 seconds left to go in the third. Radovich has yet to score in this third quarter. Over to Hayward. Hayward up to 8 points in the game for Cresskill. A lot of contact and no call. Bumped out of bounds. Last touch off of Cresskill. Fort Lee might have benefited from the lack of a call there. And now the Bridgemen with a chance here to hold for one final shot of the quarter. Coach Egero was protesting right in front of where he was standing. Devin Jang trying to get past his defender. Up top to June Best for 3. Best has that one ricochet off the top of the stanchion of the backboard. Out of bounds, 5 seconds for Cresskill to operate. Radovich will inbound it to Hayward. Hayward, scoop pass, back over. Obzinski's shot attempt was blocked away as the time expired. And Fort Lee will take a 44-37 lead with them into the fourth quarter of play. As the Bridgemen doing a nice job from the outside there with Devin Jang late in that quarter. And also got a lift from the likes of Max Greenberg as Greenberg connected on 6 of his 8 points in that third quarter alone. Stick around, fans, as we'll be back for the start of the fourth quarter here as you're watching all the action on YouTube. 44-37 lead for Fort Lee as we enter into the start of the fourth quarter of play here, as you're watching coverage exclusively of the Last Chance Showcase on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Dan Long, Dimitri Nanis, and May Matisich. Now they get the inbounds to start off the fourth quarter as Cresskill in the road white, Fort Lee in the home black. Fort Lee is led by as many as 13 in this game. Cresskill has fought back a couple of times, namely in that third quarter off to a fast start to 1 point, but they never took the lead or tied it. Richmond looking for a big win here. Again, grand picture, looking for a state playoff power points. Off-balance shot rebounded by Vickers. Vickers leads the scoring for Fort Lee with 17 points in this game. Devin Jang has come alive, notably in the end of that quarter in the third. He's got 13 now. Trying to get it down low on the block to Vickers. Vickers turnaround jump shot on the baseline, no good. Offensive putback by June Best. Again, he's just trying to tap it in rather than just settle it down. Fort Lee's hustling to the play. I give them credit for that, but they have to know time and place. You don't need to tap it in when you could just set yourself and go right back up with it. Vickers inside, got fouled on his way to the rim and also collided with his teammate, nearly knocked down June Best in the process. And Guy Vickers will head to the foul line to shoot two. Fort Lee in a rush sometimes with their putback attempts when they have a little more time than they even know they do. And Vickers missing on his first foul shot attempt. 3 of 4 at the line here this afternoon for the 6'5" junior. Miss on a pair. Tal was the one who got called for the foul. That was his third personal. That is a big factor in this game, potentially. Inside, Cresskill missing. Vickers trying to get the rebound and does. Snatch it away from Kopczynski. Devin Jang, pull-up jumper on the baseline, no good. Tal with the rebound. Again, Fort Lee, you don't want to take your foot off the gas here, but you also want to be in too much of a rush. That was a quick possession leading to a quick shot and a miss by Devin Jang. Radovich has that shot blocked from behind. June Best doing the great job. Max Greenberg with the save. Now they get it back to Greenberg. Greenberg down the middle of the floor. Trying to feed inside to Vickers. Vickers gets the double team to him, dribbled it off his own foot, turned it over. Radovich the other way for Cresskill. Gets swiped at from behind, stolen by Valdez. Great defense from both teams, both sides of the floor. Devin Jang cutting through the heart of the defense. June Best now has it, and Coach Schrager sensing what we're doing right now, which is take the timeout, slow it down a bit, and talk things over with his team. 5:48 left to go in the fourth quarter. And a back-and-forth game. Fort Lee still leads by 7, 44-37, the same margin that they enjoyed heading into this fourth quarter. I'd like to thank all of our proud sponsors of Fort Lee Bridgman Athletics this season. On the broadcast side of things, the law offices of Deborah L. Pico, LLC, Sedona Tap House, The Finest Construction, the law office of Mark J. Sokolich, and Fort Lee SC. And then our proud sponsors of the Last Chance Showcase, the Gyro Project, Prospect Capital Restaurants, Jersey Mike Subs, Anytime Fitness, Base Camp Fitness, Noble Fitness, Shoe Cosmetics, the Vickers family, and Icon Recovery Center. Cresskill will get back to league play in their next time out, scheduled on January 29th. As they'll be taking on Emerson, a team that they lost to by 1 earlier this season on the road. Cresskill currently in second place in the NJIC Patriot, while Fort Lee comes in ranked 4th in the Big North American Division behind Dumont, Dwight Morrow, and Cliffside Park. Out of the timeout, 5:45 and counting left to go in regulation. Fort Lee trying to hold on for what would be an enormous win for their playoff chances in the state playoffs. Jang watched by Webster. And that's going to be a foul whistled against Fort Lee. Was it a foul or just a turnover? And no official call, so haven't seen a change in the scoreboard when it comes to a foul, so it looks like it was just a travel against the Bridgemen. Tal trying to get it down low to Kopczynski, and that's going to be an offensive foul against Cresskill. Offensive foul against Luke Kopczynski. He was just backing down his defender, trying to get that position underneath. And the official up top at the best vantage point immediately called for it. Ochegaro not happy. Thinking a couple calls have gone against his team here in this game. Nice give and go underneath. Guy Vickers finding underneath Jacob Greenberg, who made the off-ball cut. Great assist there for Vickers. Lead is back to 9, 46-37 for Fort Lee. And that time it's going to be a foul against Isaiah Valdez. Valdez a little too close for comfort, guarding Marko Radovic. That'll be his first personal foul. Team's first of the fourth quarter for Fort Lee. Valdez fouled out of a game recently here at home against Dwight Morrow early in the fourth quarter, so it's good to see Isaiah, one of the best on-ball defenders for the Bridgemen, not in foul difficulty here today. Hayward looking for Tal inside. Recovers, trying to be stripped from behind by Jacob Greenberg, and he was. One of the best defensive performances of the season right now for Fort Lee. They're getting great effort from every player on the floor. From the blind side came Jacob Greenberg to slap that ball out of bounds off of Omer Tal. Devin Chang, step back jumper, it's good. Devin Chang, 15-point performance here for the senior. 48-37 lead, approaching the midway point of the fourth quarter. Radovic trying to get it away from Valdez, and now a bump foul. Is that another foul against Valdez? Those two players have been jawing with one another as well. Valdez now with 2 personal fouls, team second. 4:08 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Approaching the midway point of the fourth. Jack Hayward came alive with his 3-point heave just before the end of the first half. Has 8 points in the game. Radovic lost it off himself, out of bounds. A turnover for Cresskill. As he is incredulous at the lack of a call, he's feeling like he's getting bumped all over the floor. Frustrating day at the office for the senior guard, who again averages 15.8 points per game this season. He's been held to only 5 points total. All 5 came in the second quarter. Vickers trying to feed inside, pinballed around, deflected, and Cresskill with the turnover. Radovic over to Hayward. Time starting to become a factor in this one. 11-point lead for the host team here of this last chance showcase. Turnaround shot inside, no good. Tal cleans up the offensive board, but he missed the putback. And finally coming in is Kopczynski for the third offering. And Cresskill will call for a quick timeout with 3:10 left to go in the fourth quarter. Cresskill was keeping their hope alive of producing a comeback here on the road because of their prowess on the offensive boards. Cresskill has been bruising Fort Lee on the glass so far here in the second half. (48-39) as we're closing in the final 3 minutes of this fourth quarter. Fort Lee has led in this game throughout and by as many as 13 points. Cresskill got that deficit down to 1 a couple of times in the third quarter, but never had a chance to tie or take the lead themselves. .310 remaining. Out of the timeout by Cresskill, they're going to administer a little full court pressure on Fort Lee. Fort Lee has had their struggles this season closing games. Greenberg got bounced that time, as that'll send Max to the deck. Third team foul against Cresskill, so only one more foul to give for the Cougars in the remaining moments of this fourth quarter. Radovich's second personal foul of the game. 3 minutes left to go. Devin Jang with a crossover. Pulls up from 14, rattled in and out. Tal with a rebound. Hayward brings it down the other way for Cresskill. Radovich, step back three. No good. Deflected off of Jacob into the hands of his brother Max. As Max Greenberg brings it down the floor. Greenberg tries to go coast to coast, got fouled on the layup attempt. That'll send Max Greenberg to the line to shoot two. With 2:33 left to go in regulation, and Fort Lee trying to close out this game. Greenberg short on his first foul shot attempt. He's got 8 points in this game. Greenberg short badly on that second one as well. No legs there. He's been playing the majority of this game. Two big misses for Fort Lee. Hayward sets and fires, missing there. Kobzinski again on the offensive rebound. Tal trying a hook shot finish, no good. Vickers with a rebound. Devin Jang getting the outlet to him as he's going up for it. Stripped out of bounds. Good recovery by Hayward. No foul in the play, but possession will stay with Fort Lee. 2:13 left to go in the fourth quarter. 48-39 lead for the Bridgemen. Max Greenberg looking to reset the scene here with the inbound. Up top to Devin Jang. Jang with 15 points in the game. And now a foul being administered by Cresskill. That should be 2 shots for Devin Jang. And foul went against Webster, his second, team's 5th. So now it's bonus the rest of the game for Fort Lee, and Devin Jang, one of the top foul shooters in the team, to the line. Jang, 16 points and his first made foul shot of the game. At 27 points in a win against Westwood earlier this season. Jang knocks down 2 big foul shots, extends the lead back to 11, 50-39. Time running short here for Cresskill. 2 minutes and counting left to go in regulation. Cougars in threat of having their 3-game win streak come to an end. Hayward has something to say about that. Running layup, makes the shot. Timeout on the floor quickly by Cresskill. 50-41 lead now for Fort Lee with 1:53 left to go in the fourth. Fort Lee after this game will host Dumont, one of their league rivals, in their next home game on Tuesday on the 23rd before heading to Ridgefield Park on January 30th. Again, this game has so many implications when it comes to the postseason. Cresskill, a win here today could give them an opportunity to potentially put their name into the hat for the Bergen County Jamboree. If not, they'll definitely be in the BIT. For Fort Lee, while they won't be in the Jamboree this season, this could be an enormous result in terms of their possible state playoff hopes, as they came in 19th in power points, and the top 16 teams make it to the States. Valdez has that pass ricocheted a bit. Max Greenberg tries to come away with it. There's a whistle and a timeout granted to Coach Schrager as he saw a possible turnover on the horizon for his team with 1:47 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Again, thank you to all of our proud sponsors that you see on your screen there. Bridgman up by 9 late in this game. Cresskill with no fouls to give. Any foul would send Fort Lee to the foul line to shoot a pair. Guy Vickers and Devin Zhang each with 17 points apiece to lead the scoring for Fort Lee here today at home. Vickers with the inbound up top to Jacob Greenberg. Greenberg will pull it out. Dangerous pass to Devin Zhang. Double team comes. Max Greenberg tries to float that pass inside to Valdez, who banks it in. And that might be the finishing touch that Fort Lee needed. 90 seconds left to go in regulation. What a spin move. Going right into the arms of the defender was Kopczynski. He actually spun his way back top side. But it will be bailed out with that foul call against Fort Lee. Well, they say that that was in the act of shooting. Kopczynski just had in his mind to do the spin move and put his defender in the spin cycle. They are saying that that was in the act of shooting. All right. Kopczynski sinks the foul shot, 8 points in the game for the sophomore. Averages close to a double-double this season, 9.5 points, 9.5 rebounds per game. Clutch foul shooting there for Kopczynski. He's 3 for 3 at the line, 9 points for number 23. Fort Lee has to try to handle the pressure here. Max Greenberg getting to his brother Jacob in the corner. Back up top to Max. Fort Lee just content with playing a little keep away. Running the clock, time is on their side. And Zhang has to be fouled now by Radovich to stop the clock with 1:11 left to go in the fourth quarter. Your Fort Lee, you hit your foul shots, you'll be on your way to the victory. Northern Valley Demarest on your screen, waiting behind the baseline, waiting for their opportunity to play in game number 4 of this showcase event as Devin Zhang up to 18 points in this game. They're going to be taking on the Comets of Hackensack High School coming up after this one has concluded. Zhang goes 1 of 2 at the foul line. 53-43 deficit facing Cresskill. Webster off the dribble, no good. Vickers with a rebound. Outlets it now to Devin Zhang. And will Cresskill force out and commit the foul, or will they be content to wave the white flag here? Zhang still dribbling up a storm, right down the middle. Up top to Guy Vickers. Vickers over to Valdez. No foul being administered yet, and now the foul is being charged to Omer Tal. That'll send Valdez to the line, stop the clock with 42 seconds left. Almost 20 seconds burned off the clock there by the Bridgemen. And Valdez gets the nice friendly shooter's roll that time. 4 points here for Isaiah. He's played exceptional defense against Marko Radovich, in this game. 55-43. Webster looks for Hayward. Hayward for 3. No good. Vickers with a rebound. And he'll hand it off to Devin Zhang, and Fort Lee will pull away here late. A big bounce-back performance by the Bridgemen here at home against a very talented Cresskill side. Fort Lee with the victory will move to 5-10 on the season and pick up their 4th win at home this year. Cresskill will have their 3-game win streak come to a close. They'll go to 500 on the year at 8-8 on the season. And the buzzer sounds. Final score, Fort Lee 55, Cresskill 43. As Coach Schrager's side gets an enormous win for their possible state playoff tournament hopes. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this 3rd game of this 5-game event here at East Gymnasium. Stick around, fans, for our next game, which should be a good one. Hackensack in desperate need of a win to maybe qualify for the Bergen County Jamboree, taking on a Cresskill side that is trying to maybe put themselves in position for their 12th win of the season and a top 8 seed in the upcoming Jamboree tournament field. That's coming up next year on a separate broadcast link on YouTube. So for my broadcast partners, Dimitri Nanis and Renee Matisich, I'm Dan Long saying so long from East Gymnasium, and thanks for watching Fort Lee boys basketball action here on YouTube. Take care, everybody.